What is up, you guys? It is your boy Keeper Real. I hope you are having a wonderful Friday. I'm sorry about missing the upload on Wednesday. Your boy was having some technical difficulties, but I got it ironed out, baby. Don't worry about it anymore. So, today we're going to be taking a look at the Bungie drama. If you did not know, just stay tuned and I'll talk about it. So, Destiny 2 is a game that's been out for over 6 years now. September 6, 2017 is the date of the original release on the last gen consoles, but I know you guys heard Bungie way before that. Yeah, because Bungie's been around for decades. This isn't their first time releasing a game. They've been around for years. They've released some of the best games ever, and I am just saddened to hear that they've had to lay people off. I truly am. If we take a look at Destiny 2 on the Metascore, the critics are going to be skewed, but I felt like it was a decent game at launch even. Well, now more than ever. It's sitting at an 85 with the user score sitting at a dusty halfway point, which is completely understandable because when this game launched, it was very controversial. You either loved it or hated it, and so that five score makes complete sense, especially in today's market, what Destiny has become. So if you did not know, the Lightfall DLC came out a few months ago, and people are going crazy about it because it sucks. It has nothing on the previous Destiny 2 DLCs, and that's where this news is coming from. Report from Kotaku. Bungie blames 100 layoffs on players leaving Destiny 2. The studio cut 8% of staff after taking a 45% hit to the revenue. That's humongous, considering this is one of Bungie's cash cows. It truly is. They don't have much else on the market right now to make money from. So imagine you have a job and you're getting paid pretty good. And then all of a sudden the guys are like, let's take 50%. It might be hard for you to maintain the way that you're doing things. You're going to have to either find a new thing or get rid of some of your luxuries. And that's exactly what happened to Destiny and Bungie. Let's read right here from Kotaku. Bungie employees knew the Destiny 2 studio was struggling, but might not have expected a recent mass layoff of roughly 100 staff. That's according to a new report by Bloomberg, which details a meeting earlier this month in which studio leadership blamed a poor player retention following 2023's disappointing Lightfall expansion for revenue going off a cliff. 50% of revenue cut off due to DLC. Look, the DLC was bad. There's no sugarcoating it. They did not come with it like they used to. This just felt like the most incomplete addition to the game. It didn't even belong in the game. It just felt like they were trying to push it out to make a quick buck. And that's probably what caused this. The microtransactions in that DLC are just horrendous. Everything about this DLC is a spit. It's just spitting into the face of the people who have been standing there playing the game since it launched. Originally, when this game launched, it launched full price. If you did not know, Destiny 2 was not always free to play. It's only a few years ago where that occurred to garner more attention. But before then, it was a full price game. And now, like myself, I purchased the game. Few years later, guess what? I basically bought the game again because of all the DLC they added, and that's just a bummer to me. Because Destiny 2 truly could have been a great game, but the microtransactions got the better of the game. It's still, at its core, a fun experience, especially with friends. But we can't sit here and lie to each other and tell each other that the game is what it should be. It's not. It's not well taken care of. It's not bearing fruit. Let's keep reading. The money Bungie was bringing in was reportedly running 45% below projections up for the year. Despite an initial spike in concurrent players on Steam, Destiny 2 has struggled in the weeks and months following the release of its cyberpunk-infused Lightfall expansion. Bloomberg reports that the final shape, which Bungie has been hyping up as the climactic conclusion for Destiny 2's storyline, was getting good but not great feedback internally. As a result, the decision was made to delay it from February 2024 to June in order to try to win back players. Look, Extraction Shooter Marathon was delayed as well to 2025. So they had another game planning to come out at the end of next year after they ended the Destiny 2 from the final shape. But that's not how the cookie crumbles. Sometimes it goes all over the place and sometimes it drops all the way into the milk. You really don't know how it's going to play out. And I'm honestly glad that Bungie is not just saying, oh, well, it's the player's fault. I mean, it kind of sounds like it by saying that the player retention isn't there. But at least they're telling themselves that, man, this DLC is not going to be what they need to end this experience. This future game needs another year. I would much rather wait an extra year for a good game than get a game a year early and get a piece of garbage. Cyberpunk is a prime example. I was so butthurt that a game that I was waiting for years came out in the state that it did. I had fun, yes I did, when it first launched, but now it's a completely different behemoth. It's the game that I actually wanted to play back in the day. But man, rare on the occasion is it that I go purchase a game full price and it's exactly what I asked for. Rarely now. Back in the day, your boy bought a PS2 disc, put it in the game, and he got all the content he could ask for. Yes, the games weren't as long. The stories weren't as drawn out. But man, I could tell you one thing. I can remember a whole lot more classic games than I can new games. And that tells you a lot. How memorable was Destiny 2? Really? Maybe to some people because of their friends and nostalgia? But what about it made it standalone? What about it made it special? There's really nothing crazy. And I just hope with the DLC they end with a bang and then they just take a year off, then randomly say Destiny 3 is coming out, baby, and they just override everything they've been following and just do a great thing with Destiny, because Destiny itself at its core is such a fun thing, a fun world to be a part of. It's just the gameplay itself is just not all the way there. I mean, you either love or hate it. So, following the news breakout of the, 100 staff being laid off, which is kind of sad, and I'm sorry to hear that some people just lost their livelihood, they release a statement. Bungie issues a statement to Destiny community following layoffs. We know we have lost a lot of your trust, which is correct. That Lightfall DLC was it just really wasn't and nobody was asking for that. So let's read the statement they shared. This has been one of the most difficult weeks in our studio's history. As we've parted ways with the people we respect and admire, we spent this week supporting one another, including those who are at the studio, as well as friends and colleagues who are no longer are. We want to acknowledge the feedback and concerns you have about Lightfall in recent seasons, as well as your responses to the reveal of the final shape. We know we have lost a lot of your trust. Destiny needs to surprise and delight. We haven't done this enough, and that's going to change. Look, see, don't say we're sorry for releasing a product that was just not up to our standards. They kind of say that. This is the year of apologies because they're unable to produce quality games. So they just apologize. But at least here they're saying they're planning to change, and they have shown that they're ready to delay things in order to release it. This isn't some Lord of the Rings Gollum deal where they're just saying, sorry, we're going to update it and then just abandon it, because this is a cash cow for this company. To us, the path forward is clear. We need to make the final shape an unforgettable Destiny experience. We want to build something that will be regarded alongside the best games we've ever made, a fitting culmination that honors the journey we've been on together for the past 10 years. Forsaken, The Witch Queen, and The Taken King. And when I'm saying the Lightfall DLC is bad, it's not because I hate it. It's simply because I've played these, The Witch Queen, The Forsaken, and The Taken King. And those DLCs are amazing. They're such great stories, such great additions to the base game. They're just fun. But the Lightfall DLC just feels like it has nothing of those. It doesn't feel like it learned from those. It just feels like it went and deleted those and went all the way back. So these are the standard bearers we aim to live up to. These show that they were capable of releasing good DLC, but they just didn't. We are intensely focused on exceeding your expectations for the final shape. Destiny 2 has more than 650 dedicated teammates pouring all their energy and expertise into delivering this epic moment and its subsequent episodes. So after they release the final shape, probably going to get a bunch of DLC, and then they're going to close it off, show their extraction, looter, shooter, whatever it's going to be, and then that's it. That's it for Destiny 2 until Destiny 3. And seriously, guys, 6 years seems so short, but it's really been a long time with Destiny 2 and Destiny 1. It's crazy because I remember the first day that I ever saw Destiny gameplay and I said, wow, I cannot believe that PlayStation players are finally going to get a taste of Halo. And to some degree, they kind of did. But man, there was something about those old Halo games and how Bungie used to run the crew that was just crazy. Every company nowadays just feels like they're a husk of what their former selves, and they're trying to move back to what they were, but it's going to be harder with inflation and things like that. So no disrespect, I hope the DLC comes out juicy, but I said all this to end it by saying this isn't exclusive to Bungie. This isn't exclusive to any gaming company in particular. Every company that produces entertainment, whether it be movies, games, books, has been experiencing massive layoffs because we as consumers aren't being treated with respect. Honestly, we're not being treated as if our time is respected. We spend money on things that treat us like our time is respected. We don't like to spend money on things that are stupid, that don't take anything up, that don't have any substance. You're not going to eat saltine crackers over a steak when provided by the two, unless you're, vegan or something and you want to eat something not a steak, just because of your moral code. But if you were starving and somebody says, here's some saltines versus mashed potatoes, steaks, all this for the same exact price, which one would you choose? The one that's more filling or the one that has the more of it? You know what I'm saying? You can buy a box of saltine crackers, but it will never be a steak. No matter how full you get out of the saltine crackers, one steak will make you feel satiated. That savory, salty taste. And I know that I'm getting into food, but really that's how it is. That with entertainment. Nobody's going to go out here and spend their money on jank games, and that's what they've been producing, so they're now feeling the effects of it. I'm so glad that games like Hogwarts Legacy, Resident Evil 4 Remake, Dead Space Remake, all these games were just great experiences. Spider-Man 2. Shoot, even Starfield. I know it got a lot of hate, but you know what? For the game it is, I had some fun. I wasn't expecting anything crazy after seeing the gameplay. I was kind of disappointed, but I am having a blast on Spider-Man 2. So if we look here, we can see that there's been layoffs within almost every single major company, even Take-Two with their behemoth of Rockstar. GTA, guys, one of the biggest money-making games in the entire universe. And look at it. They still have to lay people off because it's just getting harder to produce these games. And I think a part of it has to do with gaming companies not being ran by game lovers and more of people who want money. And I brought this last website up, is simply because PlayStation did spend money on Bungie just last year. So I'm thinking that something occurred in the background. I'm speculating, guys. I'm not telling you no facts. I'm just speculating now. Everything beforehand was some facts. But this is speculation. I believe that PlayStation bought them in the hopes that they would turn things around and start releasing bangers. And I don't think Sony is going to invest in a company that they don't believe in. I don't think Xbox will invest in a company they don't believe in. Like, come on. Yes, Starfield might have been a miss for a lot of people, but it made tons of money. Same with Spider-Man. No matter the disrespect each of those games respectively get, those games made those companies money, and they will continue to. Sony and Bungie will continue to talk, and if you're a Destiny fan, I can only hope that the final shape is everything you asked for, because it has been a long journey with Destiny in our lives, and I just hope that this layoff just stops, because this doesn't just partake to entertainment. Every other industry in the world is experiencing layoffs, whether it be electronic companies and just regular work. Layoffs are just very common because it's getting harder for companies to sustain workers, and they are not sustaining workers. But we're not talking political, guys. This was all the news I had for you guys. I hope this sheds some light on what's truly going on behind the ugly gaming curtain that we're facing in these years, and I can only hope that it gets better. Remember to leave a like and subscribe, and you have a wonderful and safe weekend, guys. Keep it real out.